Hey, this is Bill Mosley. I play Otis in House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects and Chop Top and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And you're listening to withoutyourhead.com. Don't touch that dial or I will lick your plate. Oh, no.
Welcome back to the Station of Decapitation Without Your Head. I'm still Nasty Neil.
And I'm still Mama Creepy.
Mm-hmm. And Troy's off tending to his puppy. And we have Kate Norby here on the first annual Scream Queen Month here on Without Your Head. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Hello. It's a pleasure to be here.
Cool.
Welcome.
Yeah. Now, it's the day after Halloween. Did you do anything interesting for Halloween?
Well, I took my kids trick-or-treating.
All right.
Yeah. And...
What did they dress as?
My daughter was Ariel from The Little Mermaid, and my son was a knight.
Oh,
cute.
Yeah, they were very cute.
And we were talking about our costume contest that we have on the show, and I was like, I love all the little kids that send in their pictures. They're so cute.
I know.
Love the kid costumes. They're adorable.
Yes. Oh, I dressed up too. I was an owl.
You were an owl? Oh, great.
That's a pretty interesting costume. Did you make it yourself, an owl costume?
So actually, when I was at this little kids kind of assignment shop in LA, and just kind of looking through the costumes. Mm-hmm. My kids are like crazy about costumes in general. They have like and then I found this owl costume, and it fit me. So I was like, I'm totally keeping this for Halloween, and I did. I just kept it in my closet until Halloween, and I broke it out. And everyone was like, "Wow, you look dorky. You just look so dorky." But I don't get it. I thought I looked amazing, but whatever.
Yeah. You know what? As long as you enjoyed it, that's all that matters.
Right?
You could send in a picture and enter our Halloween costume contest.
I will. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Mm-hmm. How did you get go on? Were you going to say something, Mama Creepy?
No, go right ahead.
All right. I was just going to ask, how did you get involved in the Devil's Rejects?
Well, I was, it's interesting because a lot of people who are in Devil's Rejects have this story, because Rob hired a lot of people who are friends or friends of friends or just people he knew, some of the older actors that he just admired and just wanted them and saw them as the role. For Wendy Banjo, he actually had a friend of his that he had in mind when he wrote it and wanted to play the part. And he asked her, and she was fascinated. She wasn't comfortable with the nudity. Mm-hmm. And so he decided to go ahead and have auditions for that role. So I just went in and I auditioned on tape. He wasn't there. And then he got my tape and then was like, okay, well, we'll hire her. That's how it happened. So yeah, not as cool as the other stories in the group, but yeah, it was just a regular gig.
Do you remember what scene it was that you did for the audition?
I think we did two scenes. The one where we're all talking before when we're unloading into the hotel, which he had us actually kind of improv anyway in rehearsal. But and then the other scene I think was. It was like an action scene. So it was kind of crazy. I think it was something where I'm trying to get out of the, I think it was this scene with Sherri and Priscilla when we're on the bed in our underwear and Sherri makes me give her a kiss on the cheek. And then I go to the bathroom. Oh, I have to slap Priscilla a couple times. And then I go to the bathroom, and then I try to get out. And then I'm running and screaming, and trying to, find someone to help me. Yeah, I think it was that scene, which was like, when I got it, I was like, I do this by myself in front of a camera with the casting director. I was like, how do I accomplish this? But I guess I did. I must have done a good job, or decent enough for him to hire me.
Sure.
Because you've done a lot of different things, but you haven't really, like, prior to that, it didn't seem like you had done that much, like, horror. I mean, I know you've been on Angel. I used to watch Angel a lot. And I think there was it Scared?
Yeah, I did this. It was like more of an indie horror film.
Yeah.
It was like one of my first gigs, first gig when I moved to LA. So
I've seen you in a lot of different shows that you've been in. I mean, you've pretty much been in everything. Like you've been in just about everything. So that has been like a big difference from going from NCIS or Mad Men to Devil's Rejects.
The Devil's Rejects, I know. And my manager at the time was like, so during that time, actually, I had been going through kind of dry spell with work. And I was just really anxious about it. Like, I just like to work all the time. And, just like auditions were kind of slow. And so I knew there was like a nude scene, but I had never done one before. And my manager's like, I don't know, they're not paying you any extra money to be naked. And I was like, it's okay. I'm not doing anything. Let's just do it. I just want to do it. And he's like, I just feel like the first time you're naked in something, like, I don't know who's this Rob Zombie guy. I was like, I know. But, it's like, my brother was like, my brother was like a fan of, yes. No, my manager was great. He was just trying to like protect me,
Right, of course.
He was trying to protect me. And he was like, well, they're not budging with the money thing. And my brother was like, if you don't do this, I will kill you. And
that's awesome.
He's like, tell me everything Rob says to you. No, that's weird.
Record it.
Right.
And can you get me an autograph?
Right, exactly. Oh, no.
Do you have him sign my White Zombies CD, please?
I know, right? Totally. But yeah, my manager was just trying to protect me because, normally when you do a nude scene, you get extra money. Mm-hmm. And, like for Rob's take on it was that, well, first of all, they had their budget. And also, it's like, you shouldn't get paid more because you're naked. It's just whatever. It shouldn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Were you familiar?
The job.
Now, your brother was obviously familiar with Rob Zombie, but did you know who he was? Did you know his music and his other movies?
No. I didn't know. I'd never seen his first film.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yes, I hadn't seen House of a Thousand Corpses. And, but then when I got the offer, I watched it and I was like, oh, this is cool. This is fun. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Were you like, oh, so this is what I'm getting myself into?
Yeah, I was a little scared. This was really fucked up. I hadn't read the script until then. I hadn't read the script until I got the offer. And then I was like, oh, I'd already said yes to my manager. And then I was reading the script and I was like, oh, shit.
But, both are, pretty intense movies, but they're really a lot different from each other. Did you realize how
different? Very different.
Yeah. Did you realize how different it was from the script, or did you have to wait and see the finished movie to see how different it was?
Between the first and second one?
Yeah, just from the script, could you tell that it was a much different kind of movie?
I couldn't tell from just the script. Mm-hmm. But once I was on set, I could tell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. it just, when I was on set, I was just in the rehearsal, I was really impressed with, I didn't know what to expect, because then before I met Rob, we had a rehearsal, and then I think we had a couple rehearsals, and I didn't know what to expect at all. And then, but he was he's so smart. He knows so much about film. He's such a film buff. He's just, I just felt like he really knew what he was doing. And there was just something kind of admirable about him, it kind of felt like I was a freshman and he was like a cool senior, and I was like this awkward freshman who just started high school. That's what I felt like all the time. And then eventually, when I felt a little closer to him, then I felt like his sister that he had to bring with him, but he didn't really like very much.
That's the best analogy ever, I think.
It's like, oh yeah, and Kate's here. Hi, Kate. Mom made me bring her.
All right, Kate, get back in the bathroom.
Just get naked. You have to pee again? Oh my God. What is wrong with you?
You have the smallest bladder ever.
Totally. So,
how many times do we have to make you slap Priscilla again?
I know. Oh, just do it right this time. My God.
Sherri's cheek is getting bruised from all the kissing.
I have to say though, his direction, the way he directed was really cool. He got into the character, that as he would talk about what he wanted you to do, he would kind of start acting the way he wanted you to be. And then you come in, and he's not actually saying the lines, but he's like, you come in, you're like, what the fuck? Okay, he's doing all the, just totally embodying the direction that he wants you to go. It's very clear. And I found it, it was exciting. It was helpful.
Mm-hmm. You said you mentioned a lot of the one scene that you auditioned for was ad-libbed when you're filming the movie. Were all the scenes like that? Were all the scenes like that, or was it just that particular one?
No. I know for us, I'm trying to think. I feel like that was maybe in the rehearsal, he let us kind of add some stuff if we wanted to. He was loose in the rehearsal, and then it was locked when we shot it. But I felt like when we shot that scene, we were allowed to be a little bit loose about, with what we wanted to do. Because he wanted it just a natural back and forth. And eventually we got into a rhythm of what we wanted to do, and then we stuck with it. Mm-hmm. Or he'd say, don't say that. I hate that. Don't do that. Kate, stop. Just shut your mouth, Kate. Sorry.
So you mentioned slapping Priscilla a few times here. How hard do you actually slap her, or how does that go on?
I'm trying to think. I feel like we had a stunt coordinator, and he was great. I'm trying to remember what his name was. He was awesome. So I'm not really slapping her. Uh-huh. I'm almost touching her face, practically touching her face, and she's turning her head really fast. Uh-huh. So that's choreographed.
Yeah. That's probably a lot better than just belting her.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. I don't know if I'm trying to think if I slapped her at all. I don't think so.
I know sometimes
you never know,
get in the moment and it just happens. And sometimes
right.
Those are the ones. Yeah.
And with Angel, it was
enough.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I don't think I did. I think Priscilla's a pro, she's she's awesome. She's got it. She had it down. And, but in Angel, David Boreanaz was, when it switched from his stunt double to him, yeah, he would get really into the acting. I mean, all he had to do was like swing me around and stab me in the chest. That's all he had to do.
You just got to swing me around and stab me in the chest. Come on now.
Right? And it got a bit, I was definitely sore the next day. It got a bit rough because he was so into it. And then he felt really bad. He was a really sweet guy. He felt really bad about it.
Like, I'm jealous.
I know. I'm like, please stop hurting me. Now I'll never recur on this show.
You're coming back.
What was Sherri Moon like to work with, and how is it like it's a husband and wife, director and actor in a scene? Does he treat her any differently?
No, it was. They were very professional on set.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, and then after we did it, when you do a movie, or if you're on a TV show, you hang out, even after the movie's done, you guys are like kind of friends for a while, and then everybody kind of starts a new project. It's like going to camp, you keep writing your camp friend, and then maybe you hang out with your camp friend, but eventually everybody kind of starts new projects, and then you're more acquaintances, and then once in a while you run into each other and it's like, oh my God. And then you don't see each other for another 2 years. So it's, it's like that on a film. And after we wrapped, we actually saw them quite a bit. And I think it's because I just loved Sherri so much. She was just awesome. And we got along really well. And we just had to, that's probably why Rob had to invite me to stuff. Sherri doesn't come. Sherri said I had to invite you. And then make that like grumpy face he makes. He makes that like angry eyebrow face he makes. But yeah, Sherri is like sunlight, she's the nicest person in the world, and funny and fun and just awesome. Just
yeah. We actually had Sherri on the show a long time ago. I think it's the only podcast she's ever been on. So, but anyway, you can go check that out on the website.
So I will.
Nice.
So she's just like so sweet and awesome. It's so funny because she's so positive, and Rob does. Rob is actually a really nice person, but like his persona is so dark and
right.
Like angry and full of skeletons.
Brooding. He's the brooding artist. Yeah. But as I said, I had a brother who was a fan, so this did not faze me, really. I was like, I got it. I know. I just filled right into the role. It was very natural for me. In fact, I would see my brother. We were 2 years apart. He was 2 years older than me, and I would see him in high school. And so I would just wrap my arms around him. He's 6'4", and be like, drag me to my class. And he'd be like, get off me. And I was like, no. And he's got his Iron Maiden shirt on. He's like, stop. And I was like, oh, drag me. My legs are broken. And he would eventually just drag me. He's like, I can't believe you. Oh, God. Because, right about then, that would have been prime, Rob Zombie, White Zombie time right around then.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, we're close in age, so.
Right? The angst, the anger, so many posters of scary things on his walls.
Is Brian Posehn, when you're filming, is he just sitting there as a dead guy for most of the shoot?
I never thought of that, Dale. That's a great question.
I didn't think about that.
What do you mean?
The actor Brian Posehn, because he gets killed early in the movie, but he's just
in the room the whole time.
Yeah, he's in the room the whole time when you guys are there. I don't know. I assumed it was just
highly entertaining because Brian Posehn is very funny.
He's very funny. Yeah. Well, I guess it just depends on the angle. So there's the room, and then there's kind of a little right? It was this like little alcove next to the bathroom. I'm trying to remember what the room looked like. And
Yeah, there was like a little closet.
I think they put his body. Yeah, they put his body over there, so you don't really see it. And that's where Priscilla's body goes. That's a good point. He was around a lot, so yeah, he's probably just there dead.
He's just like, I'll be over here in the closet. When you need me, just let me know.
Right, totally. He's like, I guess I'll sit here. Can I get up? No. Okay.
Okay.
I'm dead again.
Dead.
All day.
I'll be
At least I'm
dead.
getting paid.
I'll be here, dead, all day.
Just imagine yelling at him to stop breathing.
Oh no! Oh yeah, that happens.
Stop with the breathing. You're supposed to be dead over there.
Right? Oh, but Rob loved him so much. I'm so jealous because he's dead and he loves him. I'm right here. I'm alive. Okay. Kate. Brian. Hey, man. Hi.
I don't know. Have you heard the rumor that they're making a third one?
No, I haven't.
This came out recently.
Nice.
There was a meeting with everybody, and Bill Moseley's been growing the beard out for a little while. So, I don't know if it's official.
I think I haven't heard that, but that would be awesome. I mean, I'm dead, so I can't come back. But
yeah, you kind of got taken down by that semi.
Right. I mean, maybe I survived. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all got shot.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
If you see it, like, it looked like my feet made it out okay.
Yeah.
I mean, totally smeared on the road, but the feet. My feet
So
were
Maybe
fine.
you just fell to the ground first.
Yeah, it looked, there was a deer running ahead of me. That's what got hit. And then I hid behind a rock.
Yeah, it absorbed all the impact.
Right? Yeah. I hope they do. The second one was so good. Rob had a party and then showed us the rough cut for the cast. And I was just like floored. I just couldn't believe how it was so fun and great. And I love horror movies. So,
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
What are some of your favorite horror movies?
The Exorcist has always been my favorite.
Sorry
love the
Like, I went through this phase where I just watched it over and over again. It's a little weird. Just watched it all the time.
It is an excellent movie.
I actually prefer that kind I prefer kind of like The Haunting, the black and white one. I like older, kind of slower building. Devil's Rejects is more violent, but it has a lot of the slow build in it that I like.
Yeah, definitely.
It pays homage to a lot of older films. And when you talk to Rob, you just realize how, like, he knows so much more about film than I do. Like, the names of every director, and he just talks about all these movies he loves. And I mean, he's an artist. He really is an artist.
What were some of the hardest things to film?
Well, we shot a lot at night, and then this was not actually the filming. The filming was really fun. It's fucked up, but all this messed up stuff is really fun. Like, the more fucked up the scene is, the more fun it is. It's just the best. If I'm screaming and crying, I'm having the time of my life. So, I therapy. Clearly need therapy. So, but the hardest part was the filming. It was one of our main locations where was it? It was like near Magic Mountain. And so it's in the mountains in the middle of nowhere. The ranch, that's what we called it. And at the time, I was driving this giant old Buick that I thought was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it was. It was so big and old. It's just like, I mean, I had to use both feet and arms to open the door. It was so heavy. This was such an old car. Anyway, so I had my old Buick and driving up these tiny, these thin mountain roads, which there are no lights up there, right? It's just me and my Buick, and we're shooting till right before dawn, right? So it's 4:30 in the morning that I get off, and I'm driving down this tiny road by myself. But this mountain, they use this area for filming a lot. So I'm passing Scary Church on the left, scary fucking church. Like it's not a real church from like some horror movie. I don't know what, but I've never seen that movie. It's so scary. And then like broken down log cabins, clearly haunted, but that's the wrong way. When you hit the broken down cabin, you're like, oh no, I went the wrong way again. And then I have to find a place to turn my giant Buick around, but I have to go like miles into the scary terrain, ghost town. Now I'm in Western Ghost Town, but it is so scary. Well, it's just like, I'm going to die. I know, I'm like sweating. My phone, I'm getting no service, right? I'm just like, I got to get out of here. Okay, this happened like every night. It was embarrassing. I stopped after the first time. I stopped. I like would start to mention it, and then I would stop because I was like, "This is embarrassing. I cannot get out off this mountain." I would just drive around and be scared for like an hour on the mountain until I finally find a way off.
Should have made a lot of money giving tours.
Seriously, except if I never figured out.
Got that big Buick.
I get all dressed up.
Yeah.
Come in my scary Buick. That is haunted.
There's a scary cabin. Very, very haunted church over there.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's definitely that was the hardest part, was getting from the set to the highway. That was the hardest part of all the shooting. But the actual shooting was just a blast. It was so much fun. And like I said, Rob was so clear as a director. He knew exactly what he wanted. And so everything is in the movie is so intense. It's just like you just give it your all and go with it.
Mm-hmm. So, well, when you see it totally finished for the first time, and it's edited and everything, and it is so much different from House of a Thousand Corpses. What did you think of it as a movie? And also, when you're watching it, can you watch it as a movie, or do you see it more as the experience of being in the movie?
I'm torn. I've been able to do both. It's hard for me when I'm in the scenes. Now I think I can actually watch it more as a movie now.
Mm-hmm.
But the other scenes, I'll be into it, and then I see myself, and I'm like, ah!
I did have to pee a lot.
Right. Frightening. Also, but what I was a little bit more detached because my hair's pretty dark in the movie, and my hair in real life is very, very blonde.
I know, that was one thing I noticed. I was like, wait a minute. She's always very blonde. And,
yeah,
and
my hair is natural.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. I'm on my way to drive because I think, we were on location, which, so we were sleeping. I think we were outside Palmdale. We were sleeping at the hotel for a few nights doing the hotel stuff. And I'm in the car, in my Buick, on the way for my first day on set. And I get a call from my manager who's like, they want to dye your hair brown. Like, what?
Surprise.
I'm on my way there. Okay. Are you okay with that?
I will not charge you for extra nudity, but I will charge you if you want to dye my hair.
Right? So But I actually was into it because I hadn't had to dye my hair for anything.
You pulled out brunette very well. It looks very natural on you.
Yeah, they did a great color, and my hair is naturally pretty light, so it was fun to look different. I wanted to keep it longer, but I had to change it over for a job. But now I just dyed my hair red because I've been working on a project.
Yeah, you just finished Inheritance, didn't you? That just came out.
But now, right, but now I'm blonde in that. But in this other project, it's called Jane Love, and it's a TV show. But right now they did a short, and they're trying to get the rest of the funding together for the show. So Jane Love is the main character, and I'm the main character, and so I have really sort of auburny brown, so much more like the Devil's Rejects, but more red, which is my mom's natural color. So it works nicely. I really like it. I really prefer it to being blonde. Just people treat me like I'm smarter. Little did I know. But I just like it.
It's always fun for a little change.
Right? I'm really enjoying it. I mean, it's weird because both my kids are like light blonde, almost towheads. I feel sort of sad that we don't have the same hair color, but I'm like happy. And Jane Love is actually somewhat of a horror kind of project that I've been working on. So
yeah,
I feel like I'm coming back.
That and Inheritance is a horror movie too.
And that is as well. So things are like coming full circle, I guess.
Yeah.
Inheritance is it's like a mystery thriller slash horror. More like the old school, very old school. It's pretty good. That's really good. And mystery. It's very much a mystery too, which is awesome. And then Jane Love is kind of like a Eddie Crocker killer. She's pregnant.
Serial mom. Kind of like serial mom.
Kind of like serial mom, but it's much darker. It's much more real.
Nice.
You know, it's really dark. It's funny, but not in the way that serial mom is. It's not spoof. It's much more real, and it takes place in Louisiana, so its characters are very eclectic. It's pretty.
Hey, that's where I live now.
Pretty dark. It's really fucked up.
Welcome to Louisiana.
Right? I mean, of course it takes place in Louisiana. Naturally, it couldn't take place anywhere else.
Gotta love it here, though.
Right? Well, Louisiana, it's got a great accent, and they're just, I mean, I think it's just such a, you know, the different parts of Louisiana are so different, and they're, you know what I noticed? I lived in the South in North Carolina when I was in college, and I just felt like people were so, like, there were so many characters, you know? Like, I felt like people were just less buttoned up, I guess, than in Chicago. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, yeah.
I just felt like people were, if they were weird, they were weird. But in Chicago, if they were weird, it took a while to know, you know?
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
but yeah, if it was like
a whole flavor. There's a whole rainbow.
Yeah, if you love cowboys, you wear a cowboy hat and have the whole gear and like talk like a cowboy and live your life like a cowboy. You work at Wendy's, but you're a fucking cowboy. That's how it is in the South, you know? Like if you live in Chicago and you feel like a cowboy, you just feel like a cowboy. It's a private thing. Nobody knows about it. You tell your therapist about it.
And put on that couch hat, you go to work and, you know, you say "Da Bears" and you go to Dunkin' Donuts. So, and go to your work. That's what you do. But deep down inside, you're a cowboy.
Then you're a cowboy, so fuck it.
You're a cowboy. Not down
so
here.
I actually, I think that I like that. It's just like a just more interesting, I guess, to me. But
yeah,
I like that about the South.
Too. Yeah, the South is an amazing
and there's that. Yeah, it is gorgeous. And I was in North Carolina. North Carolina was like, wow. It's like fall there was. I thought we had fall. We just don't have seasons like that.
And
but now warm. I live somewhere where they don't have any seasons. There are no seasons here. We have nothing.
Yeah. It's warm here in the winter, so hey.
That's true. Yeah, and it doesn't snow. Well, very, very rarely.
Rarely, so. Yes.
Yes.
So this show.
Uh-oh. It's happening. The goblins have entered the bedroom. Okay, guys. I know. At least one has clothes on. I'm doing something right.
Yeah. It's not a video show, so it'll be all right.
Welcome to the next generation.
Okay. Is everything okay?
I probably have to go soon.
All right.
That's okay.
It's totally understandable. Real quick, what was it like to wear the mask, the skin mask? And that became like a lot of the graphics for the movie.
Yes. So interestingly enough, I probably shouldn't admit this, but it was really a fate where like Rob didn't let me live it down for a while because, well, anyway, I got confused when I read the script and then I had my scenes and I read my scenes, but for some reason I skipped out. Like I just didn't see, I didn't understand. Like they were putting something on my face, but I just didn't understand. I was confused. So when I showed up that day to set and they showed me, essentially my husband's face, I was like, I don't understand. What is this for? Why? Well, I don't understand. Rob's like, did you read the script? I was like, I read it. He's like, you just read your lines. Did you read like the descriptions of this? I was like, I did, but you're reading, he's like, oh my God, you don't know. I was like, I did. I read it. I just, I need glasses. I lost my glasses. He's like, oh my God, you are the worst. I was like, Rob, good. Anyway, so I got confused and I didn't realize I was just like rehearsing the scene in my dressing room without thinking that I would be wearing this mask, so at least I had the mask. In school, I went to art school, and we had like 2 years of math. This teacher, Robert Francisconi, was just incredible. I mean, in fact, the first year, we were just in all black unitards, and then we have a black stocking cap over our heads, so we're just like these forms. So we're human. We don't even get to speak. And then eventually we graduate to full masks. And then eventually we get half masks, and then we get to talk. And then eventually we just improv without anything.
Mm-hmm.
So this was like 4 years school. So so when I realized there was a mask, I kind of panicked, and that's why I admitted that I didn't know, because I had to go back to my go back to my trailer and just work with the mask and see what the mask looked like when I moved my head. Because you can't just put the mask, you can just put the mask on, but my job as the actor is once you're wearing a mask, is you have to work on conveying what's happening inside with the movements of your head with the mask on. And you need to do it. And then once you're doing the scene, you can't think about it. It has to just happen naturally, because you have to be in the moment. Well, I guess you don't have to be, but so I have to be. It's not fun if you're not. Okay. So your job is to be in the moment. So, so I did go back to my trailer, and I just worked with the mask and tried a bunch of different stuff, and then did it again and again and again, and went over the scenes, which is kind of hard when you're just in a small space and you're running in place and screaming. I'm sure the PAs were walking by these people are fucked up. So when I finally did have the mask on, I have the epic run, right? And so then I was able to really just be, under the mask, I was hysterical. It was crazy.
That had to have been hard, because that trail you kind of run down is, like, it's not very wide. Like, I was watching it the other day, and I was just like, that's a pretty small trail you kind of had to follow when you're running with the mask. Or at least it looked that way.
Yes. So they took away any of the bigger rocks. The main issue, because I'm following, most of it I'm following the camera, right? I'm following something. So we rehearsed that a lot. And then the main issue actually was not so much the trail, but yeah, I guess I had to look down at the trail to make sure I was on the trail, but keep my head up, because looking down the whole time is not good for it's not how I rehearsed how the mask should look. So, but you just do that. You just do it, you just do it a couple times, and then when you need to look down so you don't run off. You get used to like being like, oh, I have to just look down here and look back up, and then it just becomes like I have, just the instinct almost. And then it's just hitting your mark. And but the main issue was that I'm supposed to be barefoot, and it's gravel and rocks that I'm running on. It hurt a lot, and I had to do it many, 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 many times. Not only that, but I think it's over 100 degrees that day. So that part was hard. Mm-hmm. And so they put some of that moleskin, I used it when I was in ballet, they wrap your feet in it, that moleskin stuff. So they made little like booties for under my feet that they would just keep changing. Because that's all I had, but that was really the main part, was that. Also, the ground's so hot, I needed protection from the ground. So that was the main issue. But they solved it. So it was all good. And then I had to pee, and Rob was like, "Kid."
Gotta go over and kiss baby on the cheek.
Well, we know your little ones need you, so we appreciate being on tonight. It's been a lot of fun.
Of course. Thank you so much for asking. Have a good night.
You too.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you so much.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah,
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there any place people can follow you online?
Well, I'm on Facebook under Kate Norby, so they can follow me there. And I don't have a website, because I have like Facebook and IMDb, and I'm on Vimeo too under Kate Norby. So I just feel like I don't know. I'm lazy. Am I lazy? I'm a bad person. I'm a bad something.
No, you are fine.
I just feel like it's enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I need a website? It's just embarrassing. The whole website thing is, I just feel embarrassed. At least the other site somebody else set up, and it was like, oh, I'm just doing this. But like my own website just seems, I don't know. Clearly I need a PR person.
Well, thank you so much for being our first Scream Queen for our first annual Scream Queen month. So it means a lot to us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
thanks for some great stories, too.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Thanks.
Yep.
You're welcome. And don't do anything I wouldn't do.
All right, you all go to withoutyourhead.com. I'll come over there and put my boot up in your ass.